I think that, and we're talking about in the podcast what industry is going to go away. And I think I brought this up before, but because we're at a point where we can get everything at home, and a lot of companies had to pivot or change the entire model to like, look, now we deliver. We don't need to come eat at our restaurant. Now we deliver.
Mhm.
We already, I mean, Amazon is killing it because everybody orders on there. Uber
Mhm.
Eats, same thing, and it's gonna get so. And now Netflix, Netflix is up, HBO Max is up, NBC is about to launch the Peacock thing, or if it hasn't already, Hulu. We already have all the movies, and
Yeah.
since movies can't come out in the theaters, they put them out digitally, so you get it at home. So what is my unless I'm like a movie buff and I want the experience with the popcorn and sit next to a stranger, or you won't even sit next to a
Yeah,
stranger.
I mean, yeah, it's good for the consumer.
Yes,
The
I don't
but
think
product, it's
so.
good, but
that's gonna die.
it's horrible for the studios
Yeah, I was
that
gonna say
make
like
those projects
the
because
experience is still important because today, weirdly enough, I had not thought about movies going to a movie theater in like a year, even without COVID. I just haven't gone until today. I was like, I just really fucking want to go see a movie and have some popcorn and have that experience. So I
Yeah, but
think
what
that
if you can recreate that at home? Do
I
you
can
order you
think
order
though.
a surround sound?
I
Fuck
mean, I
savings.
have amazing surround sound because I stay
Okay.
and I have, we hold house
no,
parties.
but back it's
But
what you
it's not the same.
it's
I like sitting with like strangers, and I like clapping for Star Wars, and I love that. So,
Yeah,
but
but
I
what
get
yeah,
that
what I'm saying.
but what
not
you're
everybody like,
wait here I
you know.
got a point. What you're saying, but what you're saying is
Amazing.
I'm kidding.
what you're saying is you can recreate it at home, but you can't. You're only talking about recreating the movie going experience, but you can't recreate the content though. Like the content, like so for instance, like
Oh, I
so
see what you're saying.
for instance,
Mm-hmm.
like yes you can have a home theater system at home, but you want to go watch like a Marvel movie or watch a show that's Game of Thrones. Those shows require a big ass budget, so that's why you have the theaters and you have the and TV, so you get two shots of making a big budget back. That's why when you have a movie that costs like $200 million to make, they put
Mm-hmm.
it into theaters first, so then it goes into the box office. It does its whole theater run. It makes 800 million in the theaters for its run. Then they put it into the TV, and it makes another 500,000 or $300,000 on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now with this whole thing, it's like you're telling the studios, let's get rid of the whole that whole first week where you made that big bunch of money by having it in the theaters. Get rid of that. Let's only survive off of the money you make on the TV half. So now all the stuff that you're used to watching, all of it gets cut in half. Like so
Well, we don't know
all
that.
Okay, so
those
We don't know
what?
the numbers because they're releasing the films out right now, and to rent the movies that are coming out are $19 to $25 that first week. So that's a bigger budget than
yeah,
just a little ticket.
they have to make the ticket more for
Yeah,
online to
Sure.
kind of
I, I'm
compensate, but
I'm not saying that. I get the point I'm making is not from the production company and movie business. I get that. What I'm saying is that because of the situation we're in right now, everything's is going to have to shift. Everything's gonna have to shift. So from the production company going, look, we can't put out big budget films no more because we won't get our money back, or we jack up the prices of buying the movie or selling the rights to the movie to a Hulu or Netflix or whatever, so we can make our money that way. And then from the consumer perspective, it's like, look, do I if I look at the cost of going to the movie theater experience, I get it. But look at the cost. I got to get in my car. I got to drive there. I got to wait in line, get my ticket. I got to find my seat. I got to sit down. I got to wait for the
yeah,
preview. I got to do all these things. So it's not just an hour and a half. It's way more than that. So between that and staying at home in my PJs, I get a
yeah.
good surround sound. I got my TV. I got my big screen TV. I'm good. I don't need all that stuff.
But I'll give you an example. So since COVID happened and we've been in this situation, the first example of if this new formula is going to work was that Sonic movie. And I think that budget for the Sonic movie was like 70 million or 80 million. And and I think that movie did make its budget back just by being on demand on all the streaming services. But that's a mid-sized budget. That's $70 million. Like if you let's talk about this Christopher Nolan movie that came out, that's $200 million, or Black Widow, the Marvel one. If this one only proved that it could get $70 million of its money back, it didn't make the amount of money that those other movies cost. That's why that's why they keep getting pushed back, because it's too big of a risk. Like if we release it onto this streaming thing, where are we gonna take a $100 million hit because we won't be able to make our money back from how much we just put into this movie to begin with? Like,
how about you don't make that? You don't make money. Yeah, you don't put in that big of a budget for a movie in the first place.
Yeah,
that's just what it costs. That's what people are used to.
I don't know. Look, I'm just saying.
We've seen them all adjust, and what I was saying is, like, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't making an argument for saying that the movies were going to stay open. I was saying today was the first day that I wanted to go to a movie, but at the same time, I said to myself, if I had to give up going to a movie theater to stay safe and not have COVID, I'll just watch it at home. So, like, I was I actually had that feeling that I missed it, the nostalgia, but I was still okay going, I'm just going to stay home. Now, if we look at it, you think about, like, they had this worry, Obi, same thing. They had this worry about budgeting and all of that when they transitioned how the way it all works from drive-ins, because they did not, back in the day, like I told you, I just have these random topics I like to look up and learn a bunch of shit about. So when I was looking at drive-ins to movie theaters and how that worked, drive-ins went out because there was so much that people were like, well, we prefer this other thing that's just easier. We get to go in and just sit down. There's all kinds of issues with drive-ins, with the getting the cars in, having the time is a problem because you got to park them all in the same row, wait for the store. They get the radio antennas to work through, all the drama with that. So Bak's point is right, that we as a society have just become much more accustomed to easiest, quickest bet, like whatever we can get. And so that's why the drive-throughs died in a way, and they're coming back now because of COVID, obviously in certain ways.
That's the first place I ever watched movie theater was in a drive-in.
But at the other,
they're gonna have to adapt to the market. That's just how it is.
Yeah, actually, to the content, you've got Netflix. So you've got Netflix and Hulu and Prime, and like the friends that I engage with, being a photographer for about 9 years, I've moved. They moved to Hollywood. They moved and started doing videos. A lot of these movies are on contract with. They did find a way to adjust because Netflix and Hulu didn't have the budgets at first, right? When they first started, they didn't have the budgets that MGM and all the big entertainment centers or studios had. So they had to build movies that were about the same, that had way less budgets, and get them out in like 7 months as opposed to, or shows, as opposed to 4 years of production and editing and blah, 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 blah. So what they did was they hired people that could shoot on DSLR cameras, that they could spend more time on the editing, more money on the budget of editing, and the what's it called? The GSI, what's it called? The
CGI?
Sorry. I couldn't get the words together. So they had more of the budget for that. So Hulu and Netflix are actually a great example of you going, but is the budget going to get smaller? They've made amazing movies that have won awards off of DSLR cameras, and the actors and actresses paying less. They get paid less per movie because they know they have a contract to be in more movies. A good example is Reese Witherspoon. She's in like 4 Hulu shows right now. So they have ways of adapting. So unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to come down to the big budgets that are going to be hit. I think that they're going to adapt, and we are a culture of adaptation.
You have to. I mean, look at The Irishman, came out on Netflix. It went into like movie theaters, I believe. Most people saw it on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the movie industry has to adapt and be like, hey, we don't have that kind of pool anymore because people don't want to step out their house no more. Now they even can't step out their house.
That's why most theaters are all like they're not like your Regal cinemas. They're like the Alamo Draft House style, the
Yeah,
ones where you go
exactly.
and drink, and they have to be an experience kind of thing to
Sure.
go.
There's
And
still
to
going to
move
be
up.
those that market is still there, but I'm saying it's
Actually,
it's going to become even smaller
well,
because
rewind. Oh, sorry.
now the idea of just Saturday I'm going to see a movie is going to disappear.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Like, I mean, no one thought that Netflix was going to be the powerhouse that it was. Like everybody, you remember getting the DVDs in the mail and all that.
Yeah.
Even down to the big people that own Blockbuster. And then you find out the story of Blockbuster is just so damn sad, is that Netflix comes out, they offer Blockbuster a deal and say, hey, we'll buy all of your stores, we'll buy all of your stuff, buy you out so that we can rebrand as like Blockbuster and do it online and do it all that, because they thought like the name would be well. And Blockbuster was like, people will never ever want to order movies and get them mailed to them, so they want to come in and they want to pick out their movies. And Netflix was like, okay, they were going to give them a lot of money, and they lost out on like $1 billion deal, because 6 months, and then 6 months after the deal was offered to them, they closed down half their stores, and then a year and a half later they filed bankruptcy and was completely gone.
Exactly.
So it's like, I mean, you have to adapt or die. I mean, it's my world too. And so, I mean, that's a good example.
That's the same. Amazon adapted.
Yeah.
Amazon used to be just books.
And now they open bookstores. They have there's one in the domain right here. They have
Yeah.
bookstores.
And they have a movie service. We watch Amazon. We have all of them. HBO, at Disney TV. We have all of them.
Yeah.
When I used to say, we're not going to get all these services, we don't need all of this, I like to be in the moment. Bitch, whatever.
I don't watch live TV no more.
Actually, like rewinding to what I said earlier, my numbers were wrong with the Sonic movie. The budget was $95 million, and it made $306 million on streaming. So yeah,
well,
I think they can make their money back with streaming.
I was like, that sounds okay, because I had heard that it did well.
Yeah, that is well. If the budget was only $95 million and they made $306 million, that's $100 million profit.
Here's the thing: you have families, okay? You have families, like with what I work in, budgeting and figuring out families and all of that. You've got families that have to budget to go to a movie. That's $7. Say you have a family of 5. I'm not going to do the math. We're just going to guess. 7 tickets. Okay, say it's a $10 ticket. That's $50 right there just for the ticket for 5 people. You want to do popcorn and all that, it's probably another $30. So you're at $80 just to go see one movie, right? But if you
guess
just that, and then gas and probably more. Alamo Draft House for us is nothing short of like $125, because I'm gonna have my wine and whatever. But anyway, so the thing for me is like, you've got whole families that can sit down and watch a movie that comes out for $20.
Yeah, but how many families sit down and watch
They
movies
will.
together
a
like
lot
that?
now, more now than ever. If you're stuck with your family,
I feel like the last time I've watched a movie with my family was when Jurassic Park came out.
That
was the last time.
In a lot of ways, you break a lot of molds, dude.
Movie night is more of a thing now than ever.
Yes,
Because that's like the one time when you could be with your family. You don't have to talk because you deal with them all day. You have kids. Like I hear about it was Joe Rogan was talking about how he rewatched all the Adam Sandler movies with his family.
Yeah.
Just like I just watched what's it called? Winnie the Pooh with my son.
Yeah.
And the Tigger movie. It's like
did it hold up?
I've never seen it, so I was like, why not?
The first time, okay.
and so there's so much to rediscover, first of all, and there's so much content out there, but that you're like, I don't need to see the latest shit, really.
Wait, you watched it on Disney Plus, didn't you?
Yeah. Of course I did.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that the concept of a movie night now, when you're stuck at home with your family all day long, you're like, I just want to relax. We're just gonna put a movie on. Everybody shut the fuck up. We're gonna enjoy this thing and have some time together and laugh and blah blah blah.
Oh my God.
There's more people embracing that than ever. So if you want to come along and say, "Oh, the new Christopher Nolan movie's coming out," you're like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Hook again.
Yeah. Okay. My kids are still like, people go, that works for little kids. No, my kids love it. Like pizza and movie night. Like they will not let me forget. You know this is pizza and movie night, right? Tonight, Mom. Like
Yep.
we're all sitting down together. They love the fact that we're in the same space. They love the fact that we are watching it. And I love the fact that literally it goes silent for an hour and a half, 2 hours of my week, where everybody's just like engorged in whatever we're watching. So much
Yep.
so that we've actually started implementing Monday, Wednesday, Friday movie nights for ourselves. So we watch, we rotate, and each kid and each whatever we rotate, and so we do it about like 8 o'clock, and then everybody has to kind of, that's our, around my house 8 o'clock is slow down period before bedtime. No phones, no nothing. But I'll let, like, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday we'll watch a movie. But pizza and movie night, where we watch a bunch of movies, because we'll end up watching another movie sometimes after. Like, movie night is not just a movie, it's a couple.
Yep.
Or
That's
like
true.
on Saturday, Sundays, or sorry, Saturdays, not Saturdays, but like Sundays, lazy days, we can do 80s movie marathon all day and just never leave the couch, just order food, get food, make cookies. We love that as a family.
Okay, y'all convinced me. People do movie nights.
No, but I want to extend. I want to extend this
I
to
don't.
something else that you.
It's unfamiliar to me. But
No,
y'all
hold
do
on.
movie
Okay,
nights.
I'm gonna bring it to something that you can relate to, as
Mhm.
hard as it is. So with all the DJs out of work that are now playing online, so think about D Nice, think about Questlove, think about, Jazzy Jeff does it. I mean, every DJ does it. That's how they put out their Venmo and everything, right? And people start doing these Zoom parties. I host one for DJ Mel every Saturday. Every Saturday from 6 to 10, Mel plays on Twitch, and we use we use my Zoom account, and I got about maybe 20, 30 people that turn their video on and they dance in the living room with their kids. They have, the DJ playing on the big TV on Twitch, and they just have a dance party by themselves in their living room. And from what they're telling me, they're like, you know what? I'm good with this. I don't have to deal with, there's no bathroom lines. I don't have to deal with drunk people. I don't have to wait for my drink. I can make my own shit. I don't have to get dressed, put makeup on. I can be in my PJs. I can do it with my kids. I can do all these things. So if tomorrow the bar's open, you will not catch me in there because I enjoy this right here.
Yeah. If you want to be really authentic, you can ID your kids.
Yeah, you could, yeah, or you can just serve them drinks and nobody will say anything. No, but it's true because
anxiety, people having more of a presence with the home DJing because they get social anxiety going out. Or
exactly. Like,
so
I don't have to deal with douchebags. I don't have to deal with people hitting on me. I don't have to deal with drunk motherfuckers.
I don't gotta keep my head on a swivel.
Exactly. I don't have to do anything.
No.
And I think that's where things are gonna go, because even if things reopen, and this is happening in Europe already, even if things reopen, there's still a large majority of people who are like, there's always going to be the people are like, oh yeah, it's open, let's go, everybody go all out, there's a festival here, let's go to the movie theater, let's go to the park, let's do all this. But especially if you have families, you'll be like, you know what, I don't want to jump right back into what normal was before this right away. I've changed the way that I operate on a daily basis because of my job, because of my kids, because of now I can get everything at home. I can just have a party in my backyard with my family. I can invite a couple of friends. I'm cool with that because I can control that. If I'm out there, I run a big risk that I don't want to take. So you know what? I'm gonna stay home, and that's my life from now on.